Okay.
Okay, so you print out your cards, and so we're going to show you how to cut them. Now, either you cut them out on paper, or you cut them out on cardstock. One of your pages is going to look like this, you know, either this or this. It has what looks like it's missing some cards. Don't worry about that. That's exactly the way it's supposed to be. That's actually part of the packaging. We're going to cut that off. So the first thing you can do is make sure you cut that extra piece off. You can set the guide if you want. If you have a cutter, you know, either that or, you know, obviously you can do it with the scissors. Same idea. You just take it and try to be very nice and neat. Go right along the line. Cardstock. And just follow along the line. It's not too hard. You know, if your kids are a little bit older, you can make this part of the activity.
So this piece is part of the packaging at the end.
Right. This is basically going to fold around the cards sort of like this and make part of the packaging. We'll get into that later.
All right.
So we're just, you know, cutting off the outsides. Now, so, you know, part of the idea is to get things to the point where you can kind of do it almost like an assembly line. Now if you cut down the middle.
You took off the edges first, then
cut down
the middle long ways, right?
Right.
Okay.
So you're going to end up with it looking like...
So Mark, when I do these, I do more at a time. You're doing it one by one to make sure that they line up right. But I just want to tell everyone out there that the pages are uniform, so you know, a little practice putting 2 or 3 in there and cutting it once works well. You want to try that?
I'll give 2 a try.
I will say that if you're super concerned with having to be absolutely perfect, you probably want to use scissors or the cutter, just one sheet at a time. But the other thing is, if you do a few sheets at a time, you can also later on with the pair of scissors make them look perfect 2 at a time, right? They look good.
You got everything set up like this. It's really easy. I mean, even with the scissors, it's not taking very long.
It's kind of relaxing with the scissors. So if you don't have a paper cutter, don't feel bad like you need to go get one. So that looks pretty good.
Here's your paper cards.
Okay.
And now those I'm just going to kind of all cut at the same time.
Uh-huh.
Should be able
So we're going to make a whole paper card deck.
Right. So I can show you how to make the packaging. That's going to be a little bit different.
So again, cutting all the
So that's
sides.
also, I mean, if you're doing this in a class or you just want to be able to send this home with the kids, maybe you would want to do it paper, you know, to save on some money. If you want to use the same one over and over again.
Well, also if they're watching this and they haven't gone out to buy cardstock and they want to just use what they've got in their printer.
But or if you're a teacher and you're doing this for a class, you can see I can cut an entire deck at the same time with the paper. So it's makes it go a little quicker. I mean, I'm doing probably way too many pieces right now, but we'll see how.
That's kind of, yeah. Again, you could trim it at the end if you want to.
They're not going to be perfect, but you know, this is education materials. It's not about it being perfect. You can see, I mean, even just cutting the whole thing and kind of not really lining it up or anything, it looks pretty good.
Yeah.
The next thing we would do is do the collar keys. Now, if you're going to look at the collar keys, you can see that the line's going around. Now, you actually want that as part of your page, so you're actually going to go a little bit outside the line on this one, whether with the scissors or with the line. We're not actually going to cut the line itself.
How far outside the line?
Just a little bit. You really don't want to go too far outside the line. The reason being is then they don't get too big. You'll see later.
Let me just get a close up of that so you can see. Okay.
Yeah.
Can you hold that up for us?
Like this. Now what you do with this is you fold it so it's directly in half. Alright, now on some of the decks it may be on the center line, some of them it may not, it depends on, I just smeared a little bit, my hand's a little dirty, but you can see it's right on the line.
Okay. And then we're going to...
But it may not be right on the line, it all depends on the width of the different columns.
So you just want to fold it in half?
You want to fold it in half, that's what's important.
You do the same thing with
that
that one?
With this. You know, even if you use the scissors, you're basically using the cards themselves to fold the packaging around. For this one, you put this in the middle.
Make sure everybody...
You want to basically get it so when you fold it around, you end up with this even. And you pack it in there as tight as you can. And to make it bend tight around. And you take this side, and you fold it up, and it should go right to the end on both sides. So, as long as that works, you're good. You basically... You took that other one, you took the long one, you took it and you folded it. Now it may be exactly on that line, you may not, but you want to kind of give yourself something to hold on to. And you bend the other side around,
right?
And you put that down on the ground and you use your fingers to kind of pull on it a
right.
little bit. Now this you probably need a parent to help, you know, because you want to pull it tight, especially with the cards.
Yes, with the paper it's not as snug. When the cardstock key, it's a little snug.
Right. So then you have that little space on that side.
It's not a bad snug, though.
Is you take it apart and you fold it back right along the line. You're going to put it on so it goes on the inside lip on the bottom. See that? So the sticky part's facing you.
Okay.
That's the idea. And you take the cover and you're going to come over. And just don't push it all together before you have it lined up, and it'll. And when you have it lined up, you just run your fingers on the inside.
This is great. Mine never looked this good.
And you take this, you fold it over. You take this.
Wow.
Fold it over.
A master packager.
And you fold this over. Okay. So now. That's what it should look like. And you take that, and you see how one side folds open? I would come from the other side with the package, always. And you slide that down. There you go.
Fantastic.
One pack
it's gorgeous.
Of cards. I'm going to take the...
So now, we've got our paper deck.
Right. Now when you see, you're going to see when you do this, it's going to be looser. If you pulled it tight on this one, it's going to kind of go too far. So you just want to kind of wrap this around so it's loose. You can crease it if you want in a couple different spots, you know, to make it feel comfortable. This one again, I creased on this one and this one so that it has one side looks like a full card. This one you can basically just sort of fold it together. You don't really need to worry about it fitting around. You know, plenty of space. But when you do the same thing we did on the other side, you take a piece of tape, flip it over, put it on the inside. Make sure you tape some room to actually connect onto it. And you fold it over. Fold it over. You can put on more pieces of tape. You can go the other side. Now you want to make sure that this is secure because it's going to be holding the thing together. Basically, give it a fold. About a ½ inch, I guess, down on this side. About a ½ inch down on this side. You make sort of like a box. Then it doesn't have to be perfect. You just take this, you slide that in there, and then make your little box.
Very nice.